welcome to the Club and Resort Talks podcast. I'm Rob Thomas, and today's podcast is sponsored by Crestcore. When your business is on a roll, go with Crestcore's hot cabinets, ovens, utility cabinets, racks, dollies, and a host of other quality products. A family-owned company, Crestcore has been a moving force in the food service industry since 1936 and is centrally headquartered near lovely Cleveland, Ohio. With more than 275,000 square feet of state-of-the-art manufacturing and distribution facilities, Crestcore has made a commitment to unsurpassed reliability and superb customer service. Learn more at crestcore.com. Before I throw it to Phil Keren, our senior editor, for some of the recent news, I want to tell you a little bit about our guests coming up after our little segment here. Robin Shelton and Bianca Gillett of Newport Country Club. They just introduced an outdoor fitness center at the club and are going to share all the details and maybe how you can take some of that stuff and introduce it at your own club. But that's coming up after Phil and I get a little chat. Phil, Inside Information, was out of the office yesterday at an event. Phil, can you tell us what you're doing?
Oh, happy to do it, Rob. Happy to do it. Yeah, was at the PGA Hope Cup, actually the Northern Ohio PGA Hope Cup event. It's was this year was at Glenmoor Country Club in Canton, Ohio. For quick background, PGA Hope is an organization where actually they have a program set up that provides free golf instruction to veterans and active duty military service members. So they have clinics. They had clinics throughout the spring and summer here in our region, Northeast Ohio. This event yesterday that I attended was actually a tournament. It was a 9-hole scramble where all the veterans who had been, or many of the veterans who had been part of the clinics, participated in the scramble event. Had 15 teams, 5 members on each team. Of that, 4 veterans and 1 PGA professional on each team. The event went really well yesterday. A nice summer day for it. The team that was led by PGA professional Kevin Sullivan and veterans Tom Brown, Rob Sutton, Jason Wallingford, and Jim Morrison were the winners yesterday. It was kind of an interesting format because they actually played. They had, I think it was 8 groups on the front 9, 7 groups on the back 9. And they just played 9 holes. So what happened was if you started on the front, you stayed on the front, same with the back. And at the end, the teams, for the tiebreaker, if you will, what they did was actually have a closest to the pin with I still remember this from yesterday, a 57-yard shot from the 18th hole fairway to the green. And so obviously the team led by Kevin Sullivan was the winner. One other thing with that was the PGA Professional did not participate in the closest to the pin. It was veterans only on that. So they had to earn that with that. And it was a great event. At the end, we had special guests there yesterday. Former Ohio State University football coach Jim Tressel was there, and he was interviewed as part of the lunch by Jimmy Hanlin, who we know, of course, PGA professional, host of some golf programs, golf instructional programs, and programs that feature golf courses throughout the country. And Jimmy interviewed Coach Tressel. It was a nice program and a great event for veterans. And they concluded it by reminding veterans to let their friends know about the program, to encourage them to, participate in the clinic next year, and then hopefully possibly participate in the Northern Ohio PGA Hope Cup in 2025. So there's a story up there right now at clubandresortbusiness.com to learn more about what happened yesterday.
Any truth to the rumor that you kept interrupting Coach Tressel by yelling scoreboard?
No. For quick background for folks, I'm a big Michigan football fan. So Rob's having some fun with me about attending an event with former Ohio State head football coach Jim Tressel. I couldn't, I have to say though, Rob, the scoreboard taunt wouldn't, in recent history, of course, that works well. But for the time Coach Tressel was at Ohio State, if memory serves, I believe he only lost to Michigan once in that time. He had a very solid record against Michigan. So he could have probably, turned that scoreboard taunt onto me very quickly.
I think that's one more time than Urban Meyer, his successor, lost. Now, unfortunately, Ryan Day cannot say the same.
No, that's true. Right. And you are correct about Urban Meyer. In fact, I heard Urban Meyer one time on a broadcast. Somebody asked him, what's the, you know, how do you sing the victors, the Michigan fight song? How do you sing that? And he responded by saying 7-0 is how he responded with his, yes, perfect
Yeah.
record against the Wolverines.
Yeah, he would not know how to sing "Hail to the Victory." I don't know if he's ever heard it. Uh,
Correct. That's right.
Thankfully for that period, but Ryan Day probably knows it by heart, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's
So,
right. No
with
doubt
that
about
out of the
that.
way and opening up some wounds, I think this year's gonna be a little different. Of course, in the college football season, Ohio State is projected to be one of the dominant teams if everything goes accordingly. But we'll see. What are you seeing in the golf news, the club and resort businesses? That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. And saw some interesting things, actually, a couple of interesting stories this week involving golf courses. One, actually, the park system, Milwaukee County Parks in Milwaukee County, Wisconsin. They're enhancing their golf course at Brown Deer Park with a new practice facility, 23,000 square foot putting green, 1,500 square foot practice bunker, um, more than 5,000 square feet of asphalt cart paths as well. The practice area is going to feature, yeah, a larger chipping green and bunker, accommodate up to 20 players. It's going to replace the current chipping green that could only hold 5 players at once. The putting greens and chipping bunker will be free for public use, with the putting green available for rental and putting course setup. So I thought that was an interesting thing. The other interesting thing about it was the facility was actually paid for by the American Rescue Plan Act, and the county actually had set aside about $6.5 million from that source for constructing cart paths and irrigation systems on county golf courses in general. And so great to see this project happening over at Brown Deer Park. And I think people who live there and enjoy golf and want to have a better opportunity to practice golf, this is a great facility for that.
Yeah, good on them. We're talking about private clubs all the time, and obviously they're seeing an awful lot of success in this coast or post-pandemic boom. But public courses, man, they're just loaded to the tilt. They've got 8-minute tee times, one after another, 30,000, 40,000 rounds they're putting through there, depending on the weather down south. They're probably putting through 60,000 plus rounds for the throughout the year. So it's good that they're going to be investing a little bit more back into the property and renting out that putting green for some events, some putting challenges. You can set up some temporary lights there and have a good time. And introduce some food and beverage out there for your guests, and good on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to see those dollars being put to use. And more, I feel like that's also, I like to mention different trends or things that I'm seeing within, I guess, the golf industry in this case. And I do think that's a trend we're seeing. We're seeing more investment into practice type facilities as well, which I know isn't as exciting as or as sexy as an actual golf course. But, you know, having those larger practice facilities, allowing people to practice a wider variety of shots, uh, obviously you're going to make you a better golfer and more likely to want to enjoy playing at other golf courses around the country.
They use the word sexy. This is a family show, Phil. But
That's
I do
right.
want to point out, I'm not sure if I'm going to spoil anything here, but Justin Timberlake's 8 a.m. golf is expanding into the Charlotte area,
Oh,
bringing par threes back. So not so much bringing the sexy back, bringing par threes back. So
yes.
hopefully that wasn't your next news story.
No, actually, it wasn't.
All right.
No, although that one sounds interesting, but it wasn't. But this next one is interesting, a very unique story. Um, Came about, it's over in Virginia, the Omni Homestead Resort. It's a historic retreat in Hot Springs, Virginia. Workers there on the golf course had a very interesting discovery recently. Um, they found a golf ball, and we've all lost golf balls playing around. And in this case, it appears that the golf ball that has been found was lost for probably almost a century. It's kind of amazing thing to me here. Um, and throughout the year, of course, workers are clearing dead and fallen trees. Um, Recently, though, this task took an unexpected turn when a thick piece of oak was split open, and they found 2 golf balls embedded in the wood. Um, so crazy to think. So the story we had on clubresortbusiness.com this week mentioned that both balls were encrusted with dirt and sap, um, and one exhibited distinctive characteristics of an antique golf ball, including a square dimple pattern that was popular about a century ago. So they, of course, said, further examination by an expert is needed to learn more about it. But Victoria Nino from the USGA Golf Museum and Library suggested the pattern most likely dates between 1910 and 1930. So very interesting to see I'm sure they'll enlist an expert to find out more about it, but interesting to see that they found it.
I think we've lost Phil. Little glitch in the matrix right here. I think as we're talking, we lost connection. We're back. We just had some huge storms coming through. A lot of people are without power from the early storms earlier this week. So I don't know if that's still affecting things, but our internet's been a little wonky. So I will let's piece this together. We're talking about the golf ball lost at the resort in Virginia, the Omni Homestead, I believe it was, and it's probably got a percha. They're not going to know yet until the USGA expert looks at it. But that was quite a find, huh?
That really was. That's that's a pretty unusual story in the golf world that I'm not really sure I've seen that one before, at least, or not finding something that's projected to be that old found on a golf course like that.
I
So
guess
pretty
they were
neat.
speculating that maybe the ball ended up like in a V of the tree, and then the tree just kind of grew around it. It'd be awfully hard to hit one hard. Maybe Bryson DeChambeau can penetrate a tree. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Very, very interesting. And I think the director of golf there has plans to have it mounted and share the story someplace very very visible right now. I think it's in his office. But great story. I love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's certainly something for the resort, as you mentioned. It'd be a great conversation piece for guests when they're staying there and playing golf there and learning about a little history there. That's kind of fun.
Yes. Well, you said again, conversation. I'm going to play off of your words here. Let's get to our conversation with Robin Shelton and Bianca Gillett from Newport Beach Country Club. Hello, and welcome back to the Club Resort Talks podcast. I've got two guests from Newport Beach Country Club in beautiful Southern California. First of all, I got Robin Shelton, General Manager of Newport Beach Country Club, and Bianca Gillett, Director of Fitness and Recreation at the club. Bianca and Robin, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Hey, thank you for coming. The reason we've got you is you've got this beautiful new facility called the Cove. It's an outdoor fitness center. If you could give us the 10,000 view look at fitness as a whole at the club.
Yeah. So Robin, if I think I'll take the lead on this one.
I think that's right up your wheelhouse.
Okay, great. So backtracking a little bit, I studied kinesiology in college. I come from the fitness industry. So the owners of the country club actually worked out at the gym that I was at for previously 9 years before coming to the club. I've been here for 3 years now. And the whole philosophy was an integrative approach to health and wellness, meaning besides just looking at your workouts, like we have to look into your diet. We have to look into your stress management. We have to look into your blood work, IV testing, and recovery. So it's just a whole view. You can't just do one single component. So the club was like, hey, if you come over here, let's bring that philosophy and bring that viewpoint to the club. And I think Robin verbatim said, hey, we'll let you take the ball and run, which is really exciting for my personality. I love creating and expanding. And you'll see pretty quickly, if you let me do a tangent on fitness, I'm very passionate and enthusiastic about what I do. I genuinely love making people feel happier and healthier through healing their bodies and getting stronger. So with that passion and with this opportunity, that's been the viewpoint here. So along with the code that we just added, because the Inside Fitness Center is getting busy, we do have a naturopathic medicine doctor, a friend of mine that comes on Tuesdays and offers those services to the club. We have recovery modalities like air compression therapy, Theraguns that members are able just to grab and use on their own and are educated to do that. We have cold plunges coming in. I help out with nutrition and other things. We're hosting new health seminars. So it's really exciting to see now that we kind of have the baseline of all of the amenities and facilities, how we can just grow and teach and expand and change lives here.
So I imagine when you were about to introduce the Cove to the members, prior to that, you must have gone and you must be pretty familiar with other outdoor fitness centers, maybe at other clubs or maybe just in general. What kind of features and amenities do you take from maybe the most popular or whatever and bring into the Cove?
I'm a very honest and blunt person, so I just tell it straight. There's no special piece of equipment that any club is going to order that's going to make an outdoor space that much better than another one, right? You have to have your cardio equipment, you have to have your weight training equipment and your functional equipment. What it really comes down to is hiring, staffing, philosophy, and just vision. So the trainers that we bring on, the group X instructors that we bring on are really just encouraged to teach and educate and we're creating a home. So if you come into our fitness center inside, it's so busy because people genuinely love coming there because it's a welcoming place. Hey, whether you are a cardio bunny, whether you're the weight trainer, whether you are the functional girl in the corner, like I designed the indoor space to whatever you wanted to do, you could do it. And everyone's welcomed. And we're all just going to do what makes us happy because that's ultimately what leads to happier lives. So in the Cove, we keep that philosophy with the instructors and the trainers. I mean, don't get me wrong, we did spend money on some really cool pieces of equipment. We have this new ski erg combination that goes from high, low to medium compared to a traditional ski erg. You can just pull straight up and down. We have a curved treadmill. We have big structures coming in tomorrow, like a monkey rack, which you'll see very common on rooftop gyms like at Equinox and other facilities. On top of that, we like to do little amenities like cold towels, eucalyptus cold towels after the workout sessions. We have waters out there. We have coffee. We have fitness center snacks made from our kitchen. The members have it good at Newport Beach Country Club, to say the least. And we love doing it for them because I'm very lucky with the demographic that I get to work with here. It is a lot of people that take health and wellness seriously and golfers that take golf really seriously. So I know this will come later, but that's like the next focus is more of the golf fitness collaboration. We got the modern day worker philosophy and culture going here, but we got to do golf and fitness more.
The eucalyptus cold towel sounds absolutely divine.
It's amazing, especially after a hot day for sure.
Yeah, certainly. So are the Cove and the existing indoor space, are they near each other? People can go freely in and out? Are they
It's a little bit of a walk, but if anyone, I always have a rebuttal and anyone says they have to do extra steps, like they had to park further or they walk. I'm like, we're just adding our extra step counts for the day. Like, that's great. This is what we're working on. So, but less than a minute walk. So where the indoor fitness space is inside the clubhouse, right by the locker rooms. And then you have to go out just a little to the right where our pool is at. And that's where we built the Cove. It's an extension of the outdoor area of the pool. So.
All right, fantastic. Robin, I got something pointed directly at you, dollar signs. We all want to know about the dollar signs when you're introducing something to a club. And your cohorts, of course, I'm sure they'll get on the phone with you and say, hey, what did this cost? What are you putting into it? That kind of stuff. And maybe an ROI from this new offering for members.
I love to touch on that. You can probably sense Bianca's got a passion that is unmatched. And, sometimes we like to, hey, she is ready to go and she's like a racehorse. Sometimes I got to pull the reins back on her a little bit because she is so ambitious and ready to go. We're already talking about, hey, what's coming next and how do we make the club a better place? And that DNA is incredible. So fortunate to have her at the club and do the things that she's doing. So we basically said, hey, we have a club who is kind of maxed out on fitness center space. All right, Bianca's got people coming there, using it at all times of the day and being fully into it, right? You mentioned the diet, the fitness, the wellness, right? You're not just coming and using your cardio equipment. So she's done a really nice job with that. And we're kind of at capacity. So we said, hey, we needed to find another space to be able to build, to do something. And we kind of put our little toe in the water last year and just kind of tried something and said, hey, we learned some lessons from it. And then we said, okay, let's go. We did put our little toe in the water. Let's dive all in now that we know it's going to work. And we spent about $500,000 on the actual structure and space itself because we made sure, hey, we were going to do it. We were going to do it right. And there's nothing worse than doing something, putting some money into it and having it not working. So we, like I said, we make sure we did it right. We got an engineer, we got a good contractor, and worked kind of as a team to build it. So about $500,000 to build it. From an ROI standpoint, we're going to return on that within a year because the amount of members that we have now that are using the club. So it's a pretty good deal for us.
Yeah, seems like a win-win.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's a win on the financial side. The bigger piece, there's a win on the member satisfaction side. And when you have a team here who's as talented as what we have, led by Bianca, gives us an opportunity to keep doing more stuff and expand our programs. And like I said, we just didn't have the space in the clubhouse, so we had to look at other areas, and we found a spot by our pool that we didn't think was being utilized to its potential.
Well, I'll tell you what, happy members stay members, healthy members live longer. So happy, healthy members that are living longer and staying longer. Beautiful. I can't imagine something better than that.
That just means our dues line just gets stronger short term and goes longer. So for sure, win, win, win.
Okay, so here, back to you, Bianca. Safety. Now some of these people are lifting some pretty heavy weights. Some of them are pushing, I try not to lift too many weights because they're so darn heavy, but that's an aside the point. Safety protocols, safety measures, people monitoring. I'm sure you're teaching your members how to use the equipment and how to use it safely.
Yes, of course. Luckily, when you're working at a country club, you're surrounded actually by intelligent people. I think you kind of have to be on the intelligent side to be a member here. So it's not too much. It's not a 24-hour fitness where reckless people are just doing things they shouldn't. And members will ask it to learn before they even touch anything. So we're in a good space in general. But yes, it's inside the fitness center and at the Cove, there's full-time staff that has to check in and monitor constantly, because we do have a half squat rack where people are barbell bench pressing or back squats, to where that can be unsafe if it's not supervised. So always a staff on board. We ask for things, putting safety clips on the barbells when doing a back squat, when doing a bench press, which, it's a little bit of a battle to get people to do it, but you have enough conversations and they're following through. So everyone's being good sports about that. And then just safety things, obviously with designing the space, you have to think of areas when you put cardio equipment, there has to be space enough behind the next piece of equipment, because in case anyone falls off, they don't hit their head and bang. So yeah, you really have to think of a lot of things when designing these spaces. For the Cove, we really had to think about safety in a sense of it's by a pool and there's kids by pools. So we have it to where there's a gated door, and it's a heavy door to where children cannot open up the space. And there's a code on there to where you have to be able to open up the key. So really just the biggest thing would be keeping kids away from the equipment. And it seems like we've checked all the boxes on that. So hopefully everyone stays safe and healthy.
Well, thank you for referencing 24-hour fitness. I dropped that reference last night at dinner with my family, and they looked at me like I had two heads. We're a Planet Fitness area around here, I guess. So, and Lifetime Fitness, but 24-hour fitness I'm familiar with, and I said it, and they looked at me like I was nuts. So thank you.
No, you're in the know. 24 is like it's one of the top dogs. It's one of the biggest ones out there. That's where I actually first started personal training when I was 20. So it has a place in my heart, but they can improve a little bit.
I started out with Scandinavian, which that's kind of ages me. That's 1990s probably. So that's been a long time. I think those are long, long gone. So back to you, Robin. You had touched upon this a little bit when you're talking about the member experience. How does the Cove in particular enhance the overall member experience at the club? Not just fitness, but in general.
Man, there's a lot to unpack there. But if I take a step back briefly, what Bianca said about, hey, getting people to use the right equipment in the right ways. She's been here a little over 3 years and just crushing it. And if you spend any time with her, she is the form queen, and she will tell you right away if you are not in the right form.
Because I care.
So I made the mistake of working out with her once, and she was correcting me on everything, and I was like, man, this is annoying. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry that I care. I'm sorry that I want you not to injure yourself. I'm sorry that I want you to be your best self and not get injured and live longer. So she's done a really nice job of that in our fitness center with our members. So to your question about, hey, what's been the upsides or the fitness, the benefit from building the Cove? So we were a little scared, to be honest with you, when we built the Cove and put it out, and probably put Bianca through the ringer on marketing plans and plan A and plan C and plan D, and what are we going to do? Hey, we got to make sure we're successful and we spend that amount of money. And it's just been a home run. I would tell you 98% has been favorable. And I think, there's, if you only have 2% in our world complaining about something, then you're doing pretty well. But it's been really good. And just to give it another space where people can work out to alleviate the compaction in the gym. I don't think anybody likes working out in the busy gym. So we've alleviated some compaction, and to be able to do it outside in Newport Beach, blue skies and sunny, it's something that other people can't offer, and people really seem to be happy with that space. And it's been, like I say, nothing but great feedback on it.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm looking outside and it looks beautiful outside. Here in Northeast Ohio, it's beautiful as well right now. Give it another month or two and it's going to start getting a little chilly. So I'm sure you're going to have plenty going on. Bianca, are there specific classes or things that you're offering out at the Cove that you're not able to offer inside besides the sunshine?
Well, that's a really actually interesting and great question. So the classes were originally inside the indoor fitness space. So what we did is moved all the classes to the Cove. And so that allowed to open up that extra free space where the classes were for people to do their functional workouts, and we moved them to the Cove. If I understand your question correctly, the classes that we offer, we have a wide variety. Again, my big philosophy is I don't care what kind of workout person you are. Let's just make sure you're doing something to improve your health and wellness. So we have a golf strength performance class that's taught by one of our top personal trainers, Kyle. He's wonderful. He's a golfer himself, studied kinesiology, very passionate. We have Beachbody, that those two classes alone are booked nearly every week. We have an app that we created for the country club where members can sign up online for the classes, and a week ahead they're full with 5 to 6 members on the wait list trying to get in these classes. So they're getting very popular, and we're only going to add more of them. We have a strength resistance class, we have yoga, we have hot yoga, we have traditional yoga, we have Zumba, we have circuit conditioning. And with the new Cove and new spaces, we're going to add some new classes like fit body boot camps. I'm really big on mobility, if you're familiar with that term. Functionality mobility is it's coming really popular, especially in the golf world. You have to have good mobility in order to move effectively through a golf swing. So a lot of opportunities of classes that we're going to add here soon. And then Kyle, speaking of him again, he started his first TPI golf fitness collaboration program with a few members. I want to say it's either 6 to 8 weeks, TPI assessments, driving range, yardage, and then they did that at the beginning and they will do that at the end. So a lot of fun stuff coming.
So, you'd mentioned also the number of members. I imagine you have members who've been sitting on the couch for the last 20 years, everywhere from them up to buff beach kings like Robin here, that maybe have gone out and they're working out on the daily, right?
Hey, I just
Right.
want to know why
I
Bianca's
don't know.
laughing at
So
that statement.
how are you dealing
I'm
with
just
the different
laughing because
levels?
it's embarrassing for everyone else around. Like, it's just why you gotta all make us feel bad.
Yeah, well, hey, sleeves, please. Keep no tank tops. Let's keep everybody professional here. But how are you dealing with the different levels?
With the variety and different levels of people?
Yeah.
So I think it really comes down again to if any fitness director, or I've been in the fitness industry again for a long time, and it's all about, and the country club has the same philosophy. We're really big on onboarding and training and hiring the right people. So that was a good fit for me when I came over to the club, because I'm the same way with your trainers and Group X instructors. I do practical interviews, meaning I see what they do before I even let them teach a class. And I think that's really helpful. And then train and onboard from there, just to make sure that the quality is good, because you have to have a good trainer. To your question of variety of student or member, you have someone that's at level 1 and someone at level 9, you have to be able to cover the gap in between. So, you're giving an exercise, but you have option A, B, and C, toughest to most modified. And then and then you want to teach, the tactileness of, hey, if you have the go-getter that's going for exercise 1, but they should be doing C, like, fixing that cue, but in a subtle, soft way, you don't need to put on display for everyone. And again, I think that's just the environment that you want to create in your gym space. So people want to come back and they just want to keep getting better. They're getting challenged, but not demoralized. They feel good, and they're leaving feeling inspired, which is the goal.
So Robin, you have a superstar like Bianca here. You got Bianca's Ryan. You mentioned Ryan a couple of times. So you've got the staff in place. Now, what is this going to do? Again, we talked about this in the past, but retention rates for members. We're talking about healthy members and happy members and keeping them around. What do you foresee in the future as far as retention goes?
Well, I think that, one thing that hasn't been mentioned, but Bianca is our director of fitness. She oversees all of our fitness programs. She trains herself. But she also, if anybody wants to do personal training, they have to go through an assessment with her first. So nobody can just walk in and say, hey, I want training. So Bianca does an assessment with everybody first, which is pretty cool. And we arm wrestled over it at the beginning, right? I come from a golf pro background, and it was like, hey, if you want to take a golf lesson, you just go take a golf lesson. I was like, hey, what's the difference? We arm wrestled, and she won on it. But, so that really gets a connection there right off the bat and get in the right program. I think from the retention standpoint, right, we're on a waiting list in our golf membership. We're 3 to 5 years. On our social sport membership, we just call our social membership, we're at 6 to 9 years. And 6 to 9 months. Anytime people can be at the club longer, it's like you said earlier, it's a win-win-win. So and the only time that we see people leaving the club, unfortunately, is usually kind of a serious health related thing. And most of those people are people who haven't been a part of our fitness programs or a part of what Bianca does. So, right, so the financial piece adds up. We're seeing people use the club more, and hey, if we can keep you healthier, you're going to be at the club longer. So, to be able to invest in our fitness programs, it's just been really good for us, and we see it continuing to be good.
I want you to both take out your crystal balls. Hope you brought them. I'd request this earlier, so if you don't have your crystal balls, that's on you, not me. Look 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. Bianca, for you, I want you to look specifically at fitness. Not only the Cove, but the all the fitness offerings at the club. What do you foresee 5, 10 years down? And Robin, for you, please look at the club as a whole, as the general manager often does. What do you see with Newport Beach Country Club 5, 10 years down the road?
I am apprehensive to answer very quickly because, as Robin said earlier, I'm kind of a racehorse and he has to pull me back. So I'm just being like, okay, how do I go about answering this without Robin having to pull back? I'll just keep it simple. Honestly, we're going to keep doing what we're doing, but better. So we're going to keep that integrative 365-degree view of health and wellness. So we're only going to double down on the naturopathic medicine services, so teaching members the benefit of getting blood work done and IV therapy by hosting more seminars for the members to attend and educate and teach. We're going to keep developing on the Cove, adding more classes, offering more amenities in the Insight Fitness Center, meaning adding more equipment, adding more personal training, adding more maybe small group training, a lot of opportunity there, and then grow on the golf and fitness side of things. And then wherever else Robin will let me keep draining and let me get. So, but I'll keep that to myself for now.
Man, Rob, that's a way to put Bianca on the spot there. I think that everything she said was accurate as far as what I see at the club and what I see in the future. I think that I mentioned, hey, we kind of put our little toe in the water first before we belly flop into the deep end. And she said, hey, we're going to keep doing what we're doing, but better. And I think that, hey, we're going to look at, hey, maybe expanding more of our outdoor space. Hey, we're going to look at creating more outdoor space just because we're a little bit landlocked. We see some opportunities where we might be able to create more space. I think that, right, she mentioned that whole 365 kind of approach, that we're going to look at, hey, more of a diet standpoint, more of an overall fully getting you all in on your fitness, wellness, diet, lifestyle, to really, TPI has done an incredible job with what they do. And I think, hey, all of us as an industry can embrace that more. But I think that if I look at my crystal ball 5, 10 years down the road, my crystal ball breaks a lot, by the way, and malfunctions. But I think that, hey, there's a lot of things that people can buy. They can't necessarily buy health, but we can help them with it to help them live longer and live better. So I think we're going to keep doing it and double down on creating those experiences that help them live longer, live better, and do the things they want to do more often and with less pain.
Beautiful. So the future is bright at Newport Beach Country Club.
Without question.
All right. Robin, Bianca, thank you very much for joining us. I want everybody to take care, stay well, and have a great day.
Thank you for having us.
Rob, thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Thomas with Club and Resort Business, and we have a package here from our friends at Vulcan Sporting Goods. Vulcan, if you are familiar, is the official pickleball of the PPA Tour. It is also the official ball of the Pickler. There it is. Look at that. Vulcan. Boom. Leave that right there. The Pickler, which is North America's fastest growing indoor pickleball facility. It's huge, right? Let me tell you a little something about these pickleballs. Can't play pickleball without pickleballs, right? So very important to have the best ones on the market. Let's get one out. Important to note that they don't smell quite as good as fresh can of tennis balls. They are the neon color, which is awfully cool. High visibility. It's a huge upgrade from their previous ball. The packaging itself is an awesome reusable sleeve that is also recyclable. What else do we know about these? Well, super resilient and do not crack in cold temperatures. You pickleballers out there, you crazy pickleballers, you play right up until there's snow on the court, right? So these are going to be perfect for you. The hardness of the ball makes it a fast-paced game. You can learn more at pickleball or vulcanpickleball.com. They also, they're fast and they're lively. They offer an exceptional feel, hard yet resilient, aerodynamic flight. These are not, they look like the old wiffle balls that we used to play in the backyard smacking around, right? They're not. These are specifically designed for pickleball, fastest growing sport in America. They have a perfect bounce, ideal for them. You can see there's a slight seam, but you can't feel the seam. So that's what you want right there. You're not going to give you any crazy bounces. Perfect weight right here. Ideal for pickleball, fastest growing sport in America. And your club, I'm sure you have pickleball courts or converted tennis courts. You know, your members are playing pickleball. Check them out. vulcanpickleball.com. And let us know what you want us to unbox, whether something like this, Vulcan pickleball, something, maybe there's a new tennis racket on the market you want us to do. Racket sports are huge right now. Huge. I got to call them about it. We've had Jared Chirico on the podcast talking about the Directors Club. So get out there, play some pickleball, play some tennis, play paddle. This winter, get out there and play platform tennis, whatever. It's great for your health. It's great for socializing. Ideal. vulcanpickleball.com. And before you go to vulcanpickleball.com, do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe. Well, you know, we have other items, some for the racket side, some for the golf side, some for the food and beverage sides, whatever. Take care, stay well, and have a great day.